Hey everybody, Damon over here at REI Black Book. Thank you guys so much for joining me on such short notice. But I'm pretty excited to share with you guys tonight a few things in regards to text message marketing, right? So everybody that you know, I guarantee you, has their cell phone within reach. I mean, we're checking our cell phone multiple times per day, and I'm telling you, you got to market where the people are. All right. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I want to give you guys some really some do's and don'ts of text message marketing, and very specifically, we are going to talk about keywords, right? So how do we actually use keywords to opt in our prospects and ultimately trigger automation, right? That is really what we're going to be focused on tonight. So bear with me just one moment. I was giving everybody just a couple of minutes to join, but just a couple of basic housekeeping items. If you've never been on a GoToWebinar, then just check out the control panel. It is going to be your access to audio, to volume, all of those things. I actually don't have a PowerPoint showing yet, so I probably see some questions already coming in regards to that. There is a chat box, but I got to tell you, I'm manning this solo tonight, so I'm not going to be able to see your chat box. So if you can, go ahead and post any questions that you may have in the questions box, okay? So there is an option there for questions, and that's just going to help me try to keep organized. Now, I did this on short notice intentionally because I didn't want to have a ton of people on here live because I was doing this myself. And so, you know, I expect probably 20, 30, 40 people on here, and I hopefully can actually answer questions and kind of manage this without any support today. Now, the crazy thing is I used to do this all the time, but now I've got help. You kind of forget what it was like doing it all by yourself, right? So again, if you guys got questions, feel free to ask the questions, and we will get rocking and rolling. So let's see. I'm going to get the slideshow started. All right, so hey, there you go. You guys probably can see me, and you should be able to see my slides. Just shout out in the question box and let me know that you guys can see everything okay. All right, there we go. You guys can see and hear me. Somebody give me a shout out. All right, hey Susan, Jonathan, perfect. All right, awesome. All right, well, thank you guys again for joining me on such short notice, and so excited to have you guys here. If you don't know who I am, then you probably haven't opened your email box or been on Facebook in a while. But this is Damon Remy, and I am the CEO and founder of REI Black Book. And really, like I said, tonight, guys, we're going to pay because we are in the attention economy. And I'll tell you right now, what you are trying to do in all of your marketing is you are trying to get attention of your prospects, okay? And where better to do that than right there when their text messaging thread, okay? 98% of all text messages are read, okay? That's compared to 29% of tweets, which I find surprising. I don't even use Twitter, to be honest. Only 20% of emails are open, and that is legit. Our open rate hovers between 20 to, well, actually, we got a pretty good open rate as of late. We're closer to the 30%. You guys might have noticed our emails getting a little bit better. So we got some guys writing great copy and really focused on great headlines to get those emails opened. But still, 20%, and then less than 12% of Facebook posts are read. So I want you guys to think about that for a minute. If you were going to send out a marketing message, man, I don't think I have to explain this too much, but 98% versus 20% email open rate, all right? So if you're not using text message, you're missing out a great deal. Now, this is also what we call the blue ocean, all right? So in the marketing world, there's a great book. I think it's called The Blue Ocean, but I can't remember the title of the book. But basically in that book, he talks about a basic premise of early on, when technology is new, then it's a blue ocean. Nobody's using it, so it's wide open and you get all kinds of eyeballs and everything else. Now, text messaging, it's been around for a long time, but not everyone's really using it for marketing. In fact, the National Association of Realtors, and I'm going to show you some charts in just a little bit, they actually just done a study for 2018, and they said how many realtors are using text messaging in their marketing, and it was crazy, less than 5%, right? So less than 5% of retail agents are using text message marketing. Now, the beautiful thing about that is that whenever there's less competition and not everybody's doing it, it gets attention, right? So where our prospects are, they're gonna pay attention to it. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, the other thing about it is your cost of marketing and your cost of buying that attention, which is ultimately all we're doing in marketing, is we're buying their attention. Then the cost of that attention is dramatically less, okay? Now, before we jump in and get started, I want to cover a few things about the TCPA Act, okay? Or really what you're going to hear often referred to just as TCPA, okay? That is the Telephone Communications Protection Act. It is what really governs text message marketing, okay? Now, it also governs auto dialers, you know, all those robocalls and stuff like that that you get. And it is very clear, okay? The TCPA states that a customer must give express written consent before you allow to send them text messages, right? It has to be clear, it has to be conspicuous. They have to know what they're opting in for, okay? And there really are three primary ways to get that written consent, okay? So first and foremost, they can actually send a keyword to a short code or a number. Now, that's really what we're gonna cover tonight. And then they could actually enter a phone number on a web form, right? Now, you guys in REI Black Book, look, you already know that we provide web forms, okay? So you can actually add the phone number as an option, and they can actually give you your phone number. That also serves as express written consent, okay? And then the third option is you can actually put a piece of paper in front of them, right? You can actually have signups at a physical location, right? So think about open houses or other types of places and events like that where you can actually get people to physically sign up. Now, inside of REI Black Book, we're gonna let you do all three. First and foremost, yes, we're gonna do keywords. I'm gonna talk about that a ton tonight. Gonna give you lots of examples on how to use keywords and then how to trigger workflows, okay? We're gonna do that. Now, if I've got time, I'll cover web forms. I'm not sure I'm gonna have time tonight, but if I do, I'll cover that. And then, but we do offer that, obviously. And then thirdly, you can actually opt in. So you can tell us, you can actually add a contact and you get the option that says, hey, look, I am opting this contact in. So you're telling us that you have permission, okay? Now, I want to be very clear. REI Black Book is a permission-based system, and it is completely compliant, okay? We are 100% compliant so long as you follow the rules, okay? And there's some best practices as well that the TCPA kind of outlines as well. A couple of them are, you know, hey, only send messages to people who have directly opted in to receive your messages, okay? That's probably pretty obvious, but again, it's worth restating. Now, the other thing is your very first text message would be great if it was a compliance message that is confirming the opt-in. That's what we call a double opt-in, right? So, you know, you've got your postcard, your billboard, wherever you got your keyword, and it tells them, hey, look, this is what you're doing. You're opting in for this. Here's all the rules, regulations. And then the very first text message is a double opt-in, okay? And now the other thing on that double opt-in, your message, and especially your front-end marketing message, whether it being the billboard or your postcard or whatever, that should be very clear as well with your identity, the message frequency. So how frequently are you going to message them? Let them know that message and data rates that may apply, and also how to opt out. Now, and opt-outs should be removed immediately. Do not send additional text messages to those folks that raise their hand and say, hey, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Don't send them a message that says, hey, are you sure? Now, there's some other things here that we're going to help you. In fact, not even help you. We're going to force you to comply to a few things, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of the presentation. Now, I've got one other little surprise for you guys tonight that I'm totally pumped to talk about this, because as most of you know, we have a direct mail accelerator in February, okay? Now, don't know the exact dates, but I'll give you a link. We're actually gonna do additional training this Wednesday night on direct mail. We're gonna kind of talk about what's in the accelerator, what you should expect, but I can tell you this, we've got some pretty cool stuff that is almost guaranteed to boost your response rates with direct mail. And oh yeah, by the way, it actually has a ton to do with everything we're gonna be talking about tonight, okay? All right, so hey, at the end of the day, like we said, keywords, it really is the key to successful text marketing. You guys like what I did there? Super funny, okay, I tell you. All right, now, hey, you guys see these keywords everywhere. All kinds of businesses use these, okay? So if we look at a couple here, I've got Subway. It says, hey, you want Subway deals sent directly to your phone? Text offers to 782929. All right, to start receiving weekly offers. Now, in the fine print, a postcard they send out, everything else in the fine print, it gives you all of the details and stuff like that of message and data rates may apply, all that good fun stuff. Okay, all that's in that fine print right there. Now we got another one here. It says help Bernie win in Iowa. Text give to 82623 to contribute $10 directly from your phone bill. And again, it says, hey, message data rates may apply, terms at, and then it gives a link for all of the terms, okay? So again, these are all of those compliant things that you have to do on your front end messaging. Now, we also have another one here. It says, hey, text the word career to 313-288-9911. So those are all examples of really keywords allowing people to opt in to your campaigns, your text campaigns, all right? Now, there are a couple differences there. First and foremost, you're gonna notice that a couple of them, the Subway ad and the Bernie ad, they were using what we call short codes. And then the other one was actually using a long code. And we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about that tonight. I just wanna give you guys base level understanding of exactly what we're talking about here. So what is a short code? Okay, so what is a short code? Well, simply put, it's a 5 to 6 digit number that is solely used to send SMS or MMS messages, okay? Now, I gotta be clear here, it was originally designed for one-way communication. So originally when these were created, you could actually only send out text messages from these. They couldn't actually receive. Now, technology is a little bit better, so you can actually receive the communication. So when they do respond, you can actually see, but most of them aren't like threaded communications and stuff like that. Now, there are two types of short codes, okay? The first type of short code we're gonna talk about is a shared short code. Now, these are less expensive of the two, but they are limited in keyword availability, okay? It's exactly what it says, guys. It is a shared short code, okay? Now, short codes are crazy expensive. Whenever they first launched, years ago, I mean, we're talking $100,000 setup fees just to get your own short code, okay? So as you could probably imagine, not a lot of folks were willing to fork over 100 grand. And so some folks said, hey, what if we actually shared a short code? And that's exactly what they are. Now, the downside to short code is that you have to share keywords, all right? If it's the same short code, then if Andy in my office right now, granted we work for the same company, but if he was a different business and he wanted the keyword cash, then I couldn't go in and use the keyword cash because it was already claimed. So Andy had already claimed the keyword, all right? Now, the other downside of shared short codes is spammers love short codes. Again, as you can imagine, it's more difficult to track back to a short code, especially when they're shared, right? So it is a little bit more difficult to start tracking who the messages came from. Now, again, the carriers can do this and everything else. It is just more difficult. So definitely the spammers use this stuff. So since they're harder to track and everything like that, the short codes, the shared short codes, have a tendency of getting shut down, right? So the carriers will notice, like, man, got a ton of spam complaints from that particular number. Let's shut it down. Now, the unfortunate part about that is they're not just shutting that one marketer down, they're shutting everyone who uses that shared short code down, okay? So that's the tough thing about shared short codes. Now, dedicated short codes, they are super expensive. I mean, we're talking, $1,000 to $1,500 per month. All right, setup is lengthy. It takes 8 to 10 weeks, and there's even additional setup fees, typically anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to get it set up. And the challenge with dedicated short codes is, a lot of the good ones are already gone, as you could probably imagine. So, and if you get a good one, like they do have vanity short codes and stuff like that, then those are typically going to cost you even more, right? So you're talking $4,000 and $5,000 per month to have a vanity short code, and if it's really good, you're talking even 10, 15. I mean, they're crazy expensive. Now, the benefit of a dedicated short code is the fact that, guess what? You have creative freedom, right? You do have the creative freedom because you get to pick the keywords you want, right? Because you own the short code, or actually technically you're leasing the short code. You don't even own it. So you're leasing the short code and you're the only one using it. So therefore you have creative freedom. So that's the good thing about dedicated short codes, okay? Now, the only benefit to short codes is that you can send 100 messages per second, okay? So these were, again, whenever short codes were designed, they were actually sent to blast consumers, right? So if you wanted to send, again, like 100 people at 1 second, then that's exactly what you could do. And they were originally, like I said, designed for one-way communication. That is the benefit and the bonus, is they are a lot faster. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I don't think that's going to impact anybody on tonight's call. And I'm going to run through some sample numbers and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, okay? All right, because there are some downside of short codes, okay? First and foremost, like I said, the dedicated short codes are expensive. The shared short codes are limited. They're designed to blast consumers. It was one-way communication. It really feels impersonal, right? You don't feel like you're communicating to a person. And now, granted, if you're building a big brand and you're Subway, then yeah, maybe that's not as important, right? You're not wanting to build that personal relationship per se, but most of us on this call are probably trying to build more personal brands as opposed to these big behemoth brands. Prospects cannot call a short code, right? So if I look at that Subway, if I look at it, I can't just pick up the phone and call the number, okay? They can't place a call. And then the other thing, and I've actually personally witnessed this a couple of times in my life, is many that simply just don't know how to actually text a short code. Okay, I remember I had my integrator. We were at a big event and we were in San Diego. I'm talking massive event, and we had what was his name? Seth. I forget his name. Forget his last name. But anyways, Seth was speaking. He was doing a powerful presentation, and he said, "Hey, I'll give you a copy of my slides." And he said, "Text this keyword to this short code." Now he was capturing leads, right? And he, of course, I'm sure he's going to follow up and do all of that stuff. But the guy next to me, who actually works for me at the time. His name was Todd. Great dude, super smart dude, by the way, and not old. He's just maybe a year or two older than I am. And he was like, "Dude, how do I text into a short code?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, how do I text to that? I don't know how to text to it." So it wasn't as intuitive as, like, say, texting a phone number. Okay. So don't worry though. Short codes have lots of reasons you probably don't want to use them. And therefore we have long code. So long code to the rescue. A long code really is just a standard phone number that is used to send and receive SMS and MMS messages. And it's much more personal and it's a more natural approach than a short code, okay? Now the great thing is it's easier and less expensive to set up than short codes. You guys inside of REI Black Book, you know that we can literally set up a phone number and have it being text ready to go in probably less than 5 minutes, okay? So as opposed to 8 to 10 weeks on the long or short codes, you can be set up really, really quick. Now, the other cool thing is you start managing your text messages more like emails, and it's two-way personalized conversation, especially if you have your CRM integrated, i.e. the way we have the contact manager integrated into ProfitOut inside of REI Black Book, okay? So you can actually start inserting contacts' names, or any data from their contact record, okay? So, and they can respond, right? So now it's two-way communication. And it really is natural to text the 10-digit phone number. That's the stuff that we do every single day. And guess what? Because you own the number, you can have unlimited keywords to create endless campaigns, okay? Now, here's the downside of long codes. You can send one message per second. So I want you guys to think about that and compare that to short codes. They can send out 100 per second. So I did a little math, all right? So what this means is that you can send 3,600. So if you had 3,600 contacts and you wanted to send them all a text message, it would take about an hour, okay? So it would take about an hour. And now, if you had 3,600 contacts and you wanted to text blast them from a short code, it would take about 36 minutes, okay? So that's really kind of the difference of what we're talking about. And so I think most of us that are on the call probably not too worried about this. The other benefit, whenever we provision one phone number, it is per phone number, right? So if you've got one phone number and you're sending out, 100 blasts, that's gonna take a second. And if you hit send on the same, on a different number, I should say, to 100 contacts, it literally would happen at the same second, okay, on short codes. And then on the the long codes, again, if you have multiple numbers, okay, so let me state that again. So let's say I had 7,200 contacts and I was going to send 3,600 contacts from one phone number, 3,600 from another number. that would actually only take an hour. Okay, so I want you to understand that 1 message per second per number is probably what I should have added there in the slide to give you some clarity. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to do right now is I actually want to show you guys how do you leverage keywords in real estate. Okay. Now, I'm gonna cover a couple different ways to do this. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna talk about retail buyer campaigns, right? So for those of you that are on the call and you are flipping properties, right? So you're going in and you're rehabbing and you are selling directly to retail buyers. Let's talk about some ways that we can do this via text messaging, okay? Now, just a little bit of insight, all right? This was actually a report that was just released from the National Association of Realtors on home buyer and seller generational trends, okay? And this actually was the importance of communications. Now, again, the National Association of Realtors had really conducted this study. So I do want to be clear, this is focused on retail realtors and the surveys of their clients. However, buyers are buyers, especially on the retail space. And overwhelmingly, I can tell you from the study that they just released, home buyers prefer text, okay? You guys can see it right here. It's actually above email. It's above them going to your website. It's above newsletters and all of that stuff for your blog. All right. Now, here's the interesting thing. As you look, okay, so 37 and younger, you can see right here, we've got, let's see, you can see right here that was 69%, 39 and younger. But here's the thing. Think about this, 72 and above, look at that, 42% still prefer text messaging, okay? So I want you guys to think about that just for a minute, because I know it gets the rap all the time of like text messaging, oh, that's for the youngins, all right? Well, guess what? Everybody is texting today, okay? And this study was literally just released, not very long ago, 2018 numbers. So bottom line is, on the average, 63% of all buyers really prefer text, okay? Now, what are and use this, okay? So first and foremost, if you guys have watched me at all, you probably know that we talk about providing free reports. We call these lead magnets, so providing free reports. And typically, we talk about doing that, going to a landing page, right? So a landing page, a mini website, filling out their contact information, give us their name and email address, and then we're going to email the report, okay? But I just want to be clear here. What if we just interjected instead of said, hey, go to the landing page, what if we just actually had them text directly in, okay? So you can see here, we're offering a free guide, really the 9 steps to buying your first house, right? This is a perfect guide for first-time home buyers, and it's yours free. Simply text first to 314-555-1212, okay? So, I made that number up, obviously, so don't try this. You're not gonna get anything. But again, so first would be the keyword, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you how to set up keywords inside of REI Black Book. But before we do that, sincerely, I want to give you guys some context so you understand like where and how you're going to use these keywords, okay? What about your sign writers, okay? So here we go. We've got the for sale sign, and I can tell you, you guys have probably seen this already, okay? I'm sure that you guys, when you're out there looking at properties, maybe this is how you bought your own personal residence, whatever it is, but you can see here, text 1000 to 904-513-1500 to get info and photos on your phone, right? Again, this is just simply a keyword to opt them into your text marketing, okay? All right, now, it's worth noting here that these folks are actually also using an information hotline, all right? Because it also says, hey, or call. Now, they're using the same number for their information hotline and their texting, for keywords. So it says, hey, enter code 1000. And now what happens is when you call, you're going to listen to a recording, a description of that property, okay? You have all the same features and functionality to do the exact same thing right inside of REI Black Book, okay? Now I want to be clear, in this example, the keyword is 1000, okay? All right, so let's show you another example of how you could use text messaging. So I actually went online, I looked at Homes and Land magazine. This is now I actually used to personally help realtors, create and design ads for these, and I used to, critique these all the time. And there's a few things that we did that boosted our response rates in these ads, okay? So I'm actually gonna show you what we did. So this is actually an ad here for Chad. I do not know Chad. I just saw this and said, okay, you know what? I could probably help Chad with this ad. Now, I didn't go spend a ton of time on design, but I just want to kind of give you guys an idea of what I would do, all right? So instead of, instead of even worrying about Chad's information, personally, I would have probably taken off Chad and his face and all his info anyways. And then I just would have said, hey, send text to 601-408-5893. Now that's Chad's number. And then just use the code assigned to the home, okay? This is our 24-hour pricing hotline, all right? Now, let me give you a little insight into what I'm doing here, okay? Because it's really important that whenever I post the picture, and you can see here this property here, and I don't even know the address or whatever, I just put code 101. So they're gonna text 101 to the phone number, all right? Pretty self-explanatory, but here's the really, really cool thing, okay? I'm not gonna put all the information in the ad. So maybe, and in this example, I'm not gonna put the price, okay? So I'm not gonna put the price. I'm gonna let them know, hey, look, we got a 24-hour pricing hotline. Now, you can also do this exact same thing with information hotlines. So they had to call in and listen to the description of the property and get the pricing information, okay? But it's really important, okay? I want you post a really great, amazing photograph of the property, maybe the address, and all of a sudden they see it's a part of town, like, oh man, it's a great house, I wanna live there, but they don't know the price. But they're gonna wanna know the price, okay? Which is kind of the point in marketing, right? We don't wanna sell them the house today. Nope, that's not our goal today. The goal of this ad should not be to sell that house. The goal of the ad should be to get them to the next step, which is to inquire for more information on the property, right? That's really the goal of this ad. And a lot of times we miss that. And so we're trying to give them all the information, everything, the address, the location, all the great stuff about it. And then they really have no need to call, right? And so again, we're trying to capture leads that are out there shopping for properties, all right? So now I've also done this where I've actually given the price, right? So if it's like, some sort of amazing price, so it's some, amazing, great picture, the price is really low, but maybe it's not the best part of town. So then I actually won't put the address or the part of town, okay? And again, then I would do more of like, hey, text the code for the address, okay? So again, the point being is don't give them all the information, all right? I'm terrible at analogies, but I'm sure you guys could come up with a really great analogy that you just don't want to give them everything, right? If you're going to give them everything, what do they need you for, right? They're not going to call you, okay? So this is just some examples again where we were focusing on more of retail buyers, okay? So what about motivated seller campaigns, okay? Motivated seller campaigns. Let's kind of talk a little bit about that. All right, again, I'm going to go back to the free reports, all right? So the same thing applies, okay? If I was going to go after foreclosure market, I've got the free guide, 5 ways to stop or avoid foreclosure. Then I've got this other one over here that's focused on Utah. It's the Stop Utah Foreclosure Report. A step-by-step guide to understanding options when facing foreclosure, okay? So again, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create a keyword, and we're gonna talk exactly about that because I wanna kind of give you guys some hints and some clues on naming conventions for these keywords. Now, you do wanna create branded keywords in your ads that make things easy for your customers. So if I was a gym membership, right, I would say, hey, text workout to 314-555-112, 1212 for more information on gym memberships, right? Or maybe it's a free month of gym membership. That's probably what I would do there, right? So the point is workout, gym memberships. Okay, so I can actually associate those now. All right, now, your keywords, again, it should be in line with the information the prospect hopes to receive. So in this case, I might be text foreclosure, or now this is a great example where you can't say, hey, text stop, okay? Because if they text just the keyword stop, I want you to know there are system keywords across all providers that as soon as they text in stop, guess what? That's like an opt-out red flag. So we're gonna stop, okay? So you guys cannot, and it will opt them out automatically. So there are some keywords, and I'm gonna give you a list of those so you guys know what they are, so you don't use them. But you could use stop foreclosures. Now, you can't do spaces in a keyword, so you might do a dash or an underscore or just all stop foreclosures. But personally, I would tell you, you really want to keep them to probably about 7 to 8 letters, just as an example, really kind of for best practices. Now, the awesome part about this is that once they opt in, you can now tailor your follow-up, right, to your prospect's exact needs. So same thing if they went to a landing page, some of you guys may have watched our landing page training. If they go to a landing page and they request a foreclosure report, I'm not going to send them a bunch of emails about probate, okay? It doesn't make sense. But now I know that these folks are actually interested in foreclosures, okay? So again, free reports, multiple ways to advertise these. Now, once you create this, you could run ads in the newspaper, you could do billboards, flyers, radio, TV ads. There's all kinds of places that you could run your advertisements, all right? So we'll talk a little bit about that, all right? All right. Now, some of you are saying, hey, Damon, teach me a way to do this for free. All right, let's talk about how to trigger automation from Craigslist ads. Now, Craigslist is a great place. Now, I don't personally think it's the best place to go for sellers. I know some folks that have success with it, but without a doubt, it's a great place to go for buyers. And I could have just as easily given a very similar example of this for buyers. In fact, I would use this probably for cash buyers as well if I had a property advertised. And so I'll talk a little bit about that too. But let's focus right now, again, if we are trying to find sellers, right? So this is actually an example Craigslist ad that I just, found on, Googling it. And, Dev Horn, I don't know Dev, all right? I don't know Dev, but I looked at his ad and was like, okay, if I was doing this, what would I do differently, okay? So first and foremost, I just put, hey, to get an instant cash offer, text cash to 314-555-1212, okay? Now, cash, again, is my keyword there. Now, I know what some of you are saying. You're saying, Damon, that's cool, but guess what? Craigslist will not allow you to put a phone number in your ad, okay? Now, sometimes you can get away with it, if you're clever and you do some different tricky stuff. But most of the time, they're pretty good about actually, finding the phone number and Xing it, right? But this phone number is actually in the image, all right? So I want to be clear on that. That is actually an image that I am posting to Craigslist, all right? So again, if I was going to do this for cash buyers, I would post a property, says, hey, fixer-upper, investor needed, cash, discounted property available. And then in the picture of the image, I would have them text the keyword for the property for pricing or for more info or the address or whatever, okay? So especially with cash buyers, I would give them the price and then say, hey, text me for the address, or give them the address, text for the price. Either way. Same thing with retail buyers. Cash buyers are going to operate the same way. The lead magnet is the property. At the end of the day, they want more information on that property. So you can do the exact same thing on Craigslist. I want to be clear on that for buyers. But what we're doing here is talking about sellers. Now, here's what I love about this strategy. Actually, what's terrible about Craigslist is that most of these folks are going to try to email you and do all this other stuff, right? And then your email box gets all full, and it's just hard to follow up, right? That's the truth. That's the beauty of REI Blackbook. You want to, okay? And it's hard to automate follow-up whenever you just get an email in your random Gmail inbox, okay? So with this, whenever they text, guess what? That goes right in and starts and triggers the automation right directly from Craigslist, okay? So triggering automation from Craigslist ads. Guess what? You should do the same thing on Facebook, okay? So again, this is an ad that was We Buy Houses, Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. Again, want to be very clear, I don't know Michael Bryant, okay? But this was an example ad that he was posting. He was trying to do some training and education for some students, it looked like. Now, he did not have text on here, so I put it in, all right? So I'm going to show you exactly, what I was talking about doing. So let's kind of zoom in here. So I actually put, hey, for faster response, text FB to 205-381-4900, okay? Now, that's his legit number. Don't text it. It's not probably going to work. I'm the one that created that keyword. So I just, and put that in there, because this is what I would do on a Facebook ad, all right? Now, you could just as easily superimpose the text FB to your phone number on the image. If you don't have Photoshop or a program like that, you could use Pixlr. That's Pixlr.com to actually put the phone number and keyword directly on the picture, all right? Now, Facebook will typically let you put phone numbers and stuff like that. So again, a great strategy. It gives them a direct call to action right on inside of Facebook and triggers your automation. Now, the beauty of Facebook, though, to be very clear, is in the ad, we've got the click here and stuff like that. So you can insert hyperlinks to your landing page. So you might want to insert a hyperlink to your landing page, but also provide them the phone number directly on Facebook as well. All right, now this next one is gonna be this is awesome. Okay, I'm telling you, we've seen this. We've got this in testing right now. The folks that we're talking to, they're testing this. They're doing this strategy right now. Literally, we're seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 times those response rates. Okay, so again, 4 times the response rate. So you could 4x your direct mail response rates with this one simple little tweak. Now, pretty excited about this because this ties into the direct mail stuff. Okay, but you can see the postcard here. It says, hey, I want to buy your house at, insert whatever the street address is. Hey, to get an instant cash offer, text. And you can see here we've got an option for a keyword too, and then it would be the phone number. Okay, so this is actually the exact postcard template. All right, at the Direct Mail Accelerator, we have this template. We've got dozens of others. You guys are going to get access directly to our templates. Pretty excited about that at the Direct Mail Accelerator coming up in February. But there's even more to this. All right, there's a little bit more to this strategy than just sending out a postcard with a keyword, just a particular keyword. Okay, because wouldn't it be great if you knew the exact person that responded? So the only way you'd be able to do that, right? So we've got Billy Prospect on here at 1234 Any Street. Wouldn't it be amazing if we knew whenever Billy responded? And when we got Bobby Prospect, we would know the difference of when Bobby responded. Okay, now we're gonna know that because we're gonna give them a unique keyword. So this is awesome because you don't have to go and append your mail list or anything else. All you have to do is I want you to get the name and the property address, right? The name, the property address, and ultimately the mailing address if you're gonna do like absentee owners or something like that. So you don't have to spend any more money to go do appending or anything like that, okay? So let's kind of take a look at this. Here's another example where we actually insert a picture of their property through technology, okay? You don't have to go out and take a picture. I know there's apps out there that you go and you take a picture and you send it in and it's, all that other stuff. And it's, I get it, okay? It is effective because whenever they get it, they're like, hey, I want to buy your property. I was like, hey, wait a minute. That is my property, okay? But here's the cool thing. What we're doing, guys, is we're going to assign each property gets a unique keyword. Now, I don't know of any other system that can actually give a unique keyword like this because, quite frankly, most people are charging 20, 30 bucks for a keyword. And what you're going to be able to do, again, we're going to be talking about this a lot at the Direct Mail Accelerator. You guys are going to get early access to this at the Direct Mail Accelerator, okay? But here's the cool thing. You can actually set it up so the seller receives an instant response. And instead of it saying, generic Joe, it's going to say, hey, Bob, I actually want to make, an offer on, whatever property address. Okay, 123 Any Boulevard. So this one, pretty awesome. Okay, the responses, again, personalized with the seller name. You can completely customize the message, and quite frankly, you can trigger an entire automated workflow. Now I'm going to show you how to set up triggering on keywords and workflows, all that stuff. We're going to show that. Now, the beauty of this, straight up, is that it is real-time leads with accurate cell phone numbers. I don't know what else you need in life if you're a real estate investor other than real-time leads with accurate cell phone numbers that said, hey, they want to get an instant offer on their property. Again, 2 to 4 times response rate with a few twists of, just some traditional marketing that probably most or others are trying and stumbling and bumbling and everything else, okay? So some pretty cool stuff. Now, I'm not looking at questions yet. I am going to get to questions. I want to be clear. I'm sure that you guys got questions. I'm excited to go and review the questions. I'm excited to see how excited you guys are about this because this is pretty awesome. Now, again, I want to be very clear. We are going to be giving everybody early access to the tech, the postcards, all of that stuff that's required to do this exact program, okay? All right, one other another way, this is a total different example here, but Bandit Sign on Wheels. I know you guys, a lot of you guys have either purchased Bandit Sign on Wheels or have read about it. You've seen some of our blog posts. Maybe you've talked read the the Motivated Sellers blog post, and it talks about the 9 different plays, and Bandit Sign on Wheels is one of them. Now, Bandit Sign on Wheels was traditionally set up to really use an information hotline, okay? So information hotline we call those recorded hotlines, information hotline. It really is designed just as I just said, right? 24 hours a day, they call in, they listen to a pre-recorded message, they dial an extension. Ultimately, it would typically be on the back of a vehicle, and then we track those cars, okay? So Bandit Sign on Wheels has been a great strategy. I know tons of investors super successful with it. You know, I had Alex Van Brockman, man. Actually Van Brooklyn. I always mispronounce your name, but if you're on, I apologize. I love you anyways. And by the way, I love that video of Michael Rappaport. That was pretty cool if you're watching. But Alex, you know, right out of the gate, pretty much first year, I can't remember if it was 16 deals or 19 deals, but either way, it's 16 to 19 deals first year out of the gate, and 8 of those deals came from Bandit Sign on Wheels, okay? So it's a great, amazing strategy, and ultimately what you want to do is you want to start recruiting other people to put your marketing, your phone number on the back of their vehicle. Well, you know what? This is a twist because, quite frankly, we have a gentleman out of Phoenix, Arizona, Joshua. Man, he's doing extremely well. Like, young guy, just super motivated. And I saw this strategy. I was like, damn, dude, that's pretty cool. He actually created a keyword on the back of every vehicle. So, hey, we buy houses, text 54005. Now, I blurred out his number, but any condition, any situation. Now, there's probably a lot of different things you might be able to test and tweak on the messaging, but the bottom line is he's going to know exactly which vehicle generated that lead. Which, oh yeah, by the way, I want to show you something else that's kind of cool. Let's go back here to this ad. The reason that we use these ads, and it was so powerful back in our mortgage days. So as a loan officer, I would actually go and I would sponsor an ad, but I would sponsor a full page ad, but I would have multiple realtors. So in this situation, I might have realtor A, so Susie is giving me, the first 3 properties. Those are her listings, and we're going to run those ads. The second 3 listings would be, Tracy, and then the last 3 might be, Stacy. Okay. Now the awesome thing, 3 different realtors, but whenever they called in, I knew exactly which agent and which property would get that lead. So I would share in that lead. Okay. So I want you to think about that. Not only do you know which marketing medium generated the lead, right? It's Homes and Land Magazine. You actually know which property they're interested in. Okay. Really, really powerful stuff here, guys. Really powerful stuff. All right. So let's keep rocking and rolling. Again, I will get to questions. I'm sure you guys have some questions. I will get to questions, okay? So, all right, here's the awesome part. You've got leads texting you, right? They are texting you. Now what, right? That's the key. All right, so hopefully you guys just kind of got an idea, a little glimpse of multiple different strategies to be able to use keywords in your marketing and your advertising, whether it's for sellers or for buyers. So they're texting you, but now what? All right, well, here, you've got 5 minutes, all right? You've got 5 minutes, all right? So let me explain this here. Speed really does matter, all right? So again, another study. We love studies, we love data, but look at this chart. It is absolutely insane. The odds of contacting a lead decrease by over 10 times in the first hour. It actually, from 5 minutes to 30 minutes, drops 21 times, and from 5 to 10 decreases at least 4 times. You guys can see the study here. You can see the stats and the chances of you actually contacting. So the bottom line, guys, responding to the leads within 5 minutes really equals a 900% increase in your contact rates. Okay, so you have 5 minutes to contact the lead. All right, you've got 5 minutes to contact the lead. All right, so what I want to actually do is kind of talk a little bit about that. All right, so let's go back to the 9 steps to buying your first house, a guide for first-time home buyers. Yours free, simply text. All right, so free reports via text messaging. That's kind of what we talked about. So inside of REI Black Book, the first thing I would do is I would set up a workflow. Now we're going to get in, and I'm going to do this live in just a moment. I'm going to monitor your questions. I'm going to make sure that we get everything covered tonight. All right, I want to make sure that you guys really got this stuff and it's very clear. I even got my whiteboard cleared off, so hopefully you guys can see that, because I'll whiteboard some scenarios out and stuff like that if need be. Okay, but inside of here, inside of REI Black Book, all I'm doing is I'm building a workflow. I called it First. And the reason I called it First was because, look, I'm actually marketing for first-time home buyers. So that's really some personal preference there. Again, you know, that's not the keyword. I want to be clear here. That's just the name of the workflow that is going to be triggered. Now we're going to get in live in just a minute, and we're going to create the keyword that would trigger this workflow, okay? And I'm going to show you how to build the workflow. But this, at its simplest option here, I would simply create a text reply. Hey, your free report, 9 steps to buying your first house, can be downloaded here. Now, I link directly to the report so they could directly download it. I could insert a link to another landing page, which would then ask for their name and email address. So now, in order to get, you know, they got to complete that next step to get the report, and I'm going to ask again for their name and email. So now I've got their name, I've got their email address, and I've got their cell phone. Now, they may BS me on their name and email, but they can't BS me on the cell phone, okay? That's the awesome part. Again, we talked about that earlier, getting real-time leads with accurate phone numbers. Whenever they text in the keyword, they cannot fake that cell phone number. That is sincerely the magic of keywords. If you guys aren't using keywords, I'll tell you, you're missing out, all right? All right, now, I told you guys I would provide a little bit more information on some of the keywords and compliance stuff again. All right, I want to be clear, you always want to provide a way out, all right? Just have an easy way out. And again, this is an example of that first message, that compliance message that we kind of talked about earlier. So it says, hey, please reply yes to receive updates from example company. Standard message and data rates may apply. Approximately 5 messages per month. Reply help for help, stop to cancel. All right. Okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit about that. So we do have opt-out keywords, all right, which are stop, unstop, unsubscribe, or cancel. Those are some opt-out, opt-in keywords that you cannot edit those, okay? Those are kind of industry standards, and so we don't change those. Again, to stop everything, so look at it again, right? So we got stop, stop all, unsubscribe, cancel, end, or quit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keywords. Now, if they opt out, then they could actually opt themselves back in if they typed in start or yes or unstop. Now, if they want help or info, you can actually do that as well, okay? They'll return a message, inform the customer that they can use the above command. So those are kind of industry standards. So if they, now, the one thing too is, I want to be clear here that it's only single word messages will trigger the block. For example, replying stop will stop the customer from receiving messages, but if they reply stop please, will not trigger that, all right? So that's where earlier we said if they're texting you back and all of a sudden they say, hey, how do I stop foreclosure? That's not stop keyword, all right? So just want to kind of be clear of that. All right, now, guys, I got to tell you, I want to show you guys just kind of the examples, and most of you on this call are already, you know, subscribed to Profit Dial Small Business Plan, which includes a ton of stuff. Some of you guys are on the $97 a month plan, but I just want to reiterate the value of what we provide, all right? Now, I'm actually comparing to Easy Texting, all right? So Easy Texting gives you 1,000 credits, which we give you 1,000 credits. They give you one, let me repeat, one custom keyword. Any additional text messages are 4.5 cents per message, and it's $25 for each additional keyword. $25 for each additional keyword. So I just want to let you guys know, look, this is included. All of those things are actually included in the small business plan, literally unlimited keywords. Now, if you're not on the small business plan, we do still allow you to text, just not text broadcast. We don't allow you to do keywords, okay? But we'll kind of talk about that. If you got questions, reach out to the support team. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is give me a moment to check out questions. So let me see if we got questions. Looks like we got a few. So again, guys, hey, I told you straight up, I am by myself. So just bear with me as I read through questions. All right. So it is called Blue Ocean. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. And then Susan, you're a rock star. Thank you for helping me on that. The direct mail accelerator. is going to be February 12th and the 13th. I can see some people asking for that. All right, cool. So, all right, so I don't see any other questions. So, hey, looks like we just did a great job, and you guys know exactly what you're doing, and I can call it a night, right? Any questions? Going once? All right, hey, now let's get in, and I'm actually going to show you how to actually build out a keyword inside of REI Black Book. So hopefully now you have the context to understand multiple different ways that keywords could be used in your marketing. And guys, I just scratched the surface. There are literally dozens and dozens of other ways that you could do it, and quite frankly, some that I probably haven't even thought of that you guys will think of. You know, like for instance, the Bandit Sign on Wheels with the texting a keyword instead of calling the information hotline. Purely genius. I love that. Just super, super awesome. Okay. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to, let's see, close out of here. Let's minimize this and open up REI Black Book, my login, and share the screen. Okay. Oh, all right, so let's log in. Uh-oh. I hope I paid my bill. My login's not working. There we go. All right, cool. So we are in. All right, so hey, folks, sincerely, we got a fairly small group. So if you've got questions, then please feel free to ask. Okay? So I'd love to hear any questions you guys have. But first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go in, and again, you kind of got to do this backwards a little bit. You got to go create the workflow, the automation that you want triggered when they text in the keyword. Now I want to be clear, a keyword triggers a call. Man, I almost messed that up. I apologize. Slap me tonight. All right, a keyword triggers a workflow. Right, the only thing that can trigger a call flow is a call. They have to call live. Okay, so a workflow will be triggered by a keyword. All right, so let's come in here, and if we were going to come in and build a workflow, then we can go ahead and hit add new workflow. And as you saw earlier, I typed in the name of the workflow was first. Now, you know, this isn't really, this is for internal purposes only. So you might want to do first time home buyer. Okay. And you're gonna do a few things here. Okay. So there's well, at the end of the day, you're going to define the workflow, which is again why I would suggest you start writing it out on the whiteboard. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to reply back with that text message. Okay. So, you know, thank you for requesting our first time home buyer guide. Click below to download your exclusive report. Now this is where I'm going to insert the link. All right, so if I could actually, you know, if I was hosting it somewhere or whatever, I could insert the link directly. What I would personally do, I would link them to a landing page. Okay, so I would build out a landing page, and then whenever I hit insert landing page, it's gonna literally, you know, show all of your landing pages, and you can just, you know, click and insert the landing page there. Now the reason you're gonna do that is whenever they click on the landing page, what we're doing is we're passing their phone number to that landing page. All right, so whenever you ask for their name and email address, it's going to match it up and say, oh, okay, hey, that's the phone number automatically. You don't even have to ask for the phone number on the landing page. That's awesome. They're in the web form, so you can literally just ask for the name and email address. They're going to complete the name and email address, and we're going to actually, in the background, secretively, we're passing that data to the web form. Okay, and then we're gonna save it right to your contact record. Okay, so that really is it. I would love to do that. Now at that point, you know, folks always ask me is like, what's next? Okay, then I want you to say what's next. What do you want to happen in your business? You know, you could wait a day, send them another text reply. I would definitely tag them. I would add a tag, right? So I would come in here and add a tag, you know, first time home buyer or foreclosure or whatever it is, whatever campaign that I'm doing, so that I could easily segment my database, right? So the power of this, again, is that it is dynamically segmenting all of your contacts as they are automatically entered into your contact management system, okay? But for this purpose, we're literally just gonna go ahead and now, there we go. We start the workflow. We're gonna go ahead and hit close, but we'll hit save and close. Okay, so we created the workflow, and then you're going to notice right over here, and so it automatically takes me to my system settings. Now to get to system settings, you could click on your name, and then right here, system settings, okay? But you're going to notice we've got keywords right here. So as I click on my keywords, this is going to show you all of our keywords, or your keywords, I should say, okay? Now, let me be very clear, all right? Pricing for keywords. You have unlimited keywords. I can't tell you how awesome that is, all right? Now, at some point, we've actually written the code to start charging for keywords, okay? So I'm one of the only crazy dudes on the planet that doesn't charge for keywords, right? And again, most folks are charging $25 for these keywords, and you know, I'm going to at some point as well. But if you've upgraded, if you're in the small business plan, I'm not going to come back and say, hey, I changed my mind. You've already upgraded. Now you got to pay for keywords. Look, if you are grandfathered in, which simply means if I change the pricing plan and at some point I will implement, you know, keywords being charged at 25 bucks, I'm not going to charge 25 bucks. But if I charge anything, you don't have to pay anything. It's unlimited keywords, okay? But bottom line is you're going to come in here and you're going to hit add new. And this is so simple. Now we're going to come in and we're going to say, okay, what is the keyword? The keyword is first. Now I could describe it, right? So I could, you know, this is a first time home buyer guide. Okay, I'm going to choose which profit dial number. So if you've got multiple phone numbers, then you're going to choose the appropriate number. So this is going to be our buyer hotline. And then I'm going to choose the workflow. So I'm going to choose the workflow that I want to trigger. And there's the first time home buyer workflow that's going to be triggered. So there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and create that keyword. Okay, now I want to show you something here that you could do. If, for instance, I mean, now I've created the keyword first, and if you guys text in right now to first, you know, text in first to 314-593-2349, you're going to get that text message back. Now I didn't insert a link or anything else, and that really is it. That is all we decided to do in the workflow. But if you wanted to do and trigger some more elaborate workflow, you could certainly do that. Now, I get it. I know you guys all ask me the same thing every time. I see it in the Facebook group right now. You guys are all want to review each other's workflows and everything else, which I think is brilliant, by the way. I love that you guys are doing that. But I want to encourage you, you know, you can't like ask me to go to the gym for you, okay? It's not going to work. Obviously, you know, I've asked a lot of people to go to the gym for me. It didn't work, all right? You got to go do the work, right? You got to do the diet. You got to go to the gym. That's how you lose weight. That's how you live the healthy lifestyle, right? You can't outsource some things, right? Now, so the reason I tell you that is because at a minimum, I want you to think about what you want to happen in your business, all right? And look, guys, if you get hung up on some of this stuff, I get ask questions, go engage in the community, and ask for help, okay? So with that said, I'm telling you guys, it really is that simple. Hopefully you guys got some really good ideas out of this. I showed you multiple different ways to kind of use keywords in real estate. Hopefully you guys got some good ideas. I would love to know what your favorite idea was, okay? And if you got others, like, look, I'm probably gonna post this out to the Facebook group or whatever. Comment on the Facebook group. Give me some other ideas, some things that I didn't think about. I love really, you know, learning and exploring this stuff with you guys. But it really is that simple, okay? Again, you create the workflow, you come in, add new keyword, and look, I could actually come in and trigger that exact same flow if I wanted them to do second, right? I don't know, right? But buyer hotline, and then I could choose that exact same workflow, okay? I could do that if I wanted to, all right? So it really is that simple to come in and create keywords, and I can edit them and change them up later, right? So I can just simply come over here and say, you know what? I need to edit that. Maybe I want to change the hotline or whatever. You can do so right there. Now, I also want to be clear here. You can have a keyword. The keyword is tied to the phone number, okay? So the keyword is tied to the phone number. So if you have multiple numbers, you can add a new keyword. So I can come in here and add first to a different phone number. And I could choose a different flow, or quite frankly, I could actually even choose the exact same flow, all right? So I could actually create that keyword. So now all of a sudden, I've got multiple keywords that are the same. So that does seem a little confusing, but I want you to understand it's tied to a different phone number, and it could trigger an entirely different flow, okay? All right, so let me go back to questions and see how we are. All right, now you guys are getting to ask questions. Okay, now you guys are awake. I see here. Let's get into this. All right, so, okay, do you end up getting more leads with using a keyword on a bandit sign or BSOW? If so, does the lead quality suffer since it isn't as formal as a phone call? Jason, buddy, I really honestly do not know. Okay, so Jason Henderson is asking, basically saying, hey, look, what's the lead quality, texting versus actually calling in? All right. I'm going to tell you that, this is just based on, this is like an educated guess that, the calling in, we actually put 24-hour recorded hotline. So therefore they expect to be calling, 24-hour recorded information. That's what I suggest. Your call volume will go up with that. Your lead quality goes down and everything else. You're going to get a lot more calls, but they're expecting just to talk to, not talk to anybody. They're expecting to get a recording. Okay. With the texting, probably the same thing, right? They're not expecting to necessarily engage with a human being quickly. So I think it's probably going to be close to the same, would be my guesstimate. It's educated guess, but it is a guess. This is a great example, Jason, buddy. I got to tell you, man, there's nobody going to tell you the real answer to that other than the market, okay? And, Drew and Rishi might do something in Phoenix that doesn't work in Oklahoma City, right? Something works in Midwest City might not work in, Norman, so things are a little different in each market and even in sub-markets within a major market, okay? So things are different. So this is why testing and knowing your numbers is super, super important, all right? Super important to be able to test and see your numbers and stuff like that, okay? Natalia, yes, we will make this recording available, absolutely. Who is the pro that will be doing the direct mail accelerator? Rob, I've actually got a couple of pros, but frankly, Josh and myself are gonna be doing a huge part of that because that's a huge part of what we do. We're gonna bring in a pro that actually is a mail house, all right? So it's gonna be super easy. They've got like turnkey list. They've got access to the list. They've got, posting, they got everything, okay? It really is turnkey. So you only have to think about much, man, at the Direct Mail Accelerator. Pretty pumped up. I know a lot of you guys already signed up for our, you did the monthly accelerator series, which honestly is a smoking deal, like $415 a month. And you get every accelerator. And you can attend live stream. Don't forget, we do them live stream now. You get the recordings, or you can come and hang out with us directly in the office. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I sincerely appreciate that. Giving a shout out for constantly adding value. And guys, let me tell you, Susan, sincerely, I do appreciate you recognizing that. But I hope what you guys really recognize is that I'm practicing what I preach. Okay. I'm practicing putting value out first, and I'll tell you, I've done this for 10 plus years, and guys, $20 million later, I wouldn't do a damn thing different. The money always comes when you do the right thing for the right reasons, and I can tell you, I'm very passionate about this, and I tell you guys to do the same, right? Lead with value, get your core, lead with values, and get your core values identified. Understand, what is your vision? What's the clarity? And I'm telling you, this business is not hard. The blocking and tackling of real estate investing is absolutely the simple part. You got to get the mind clear. So typically we got some roadblocks, and we all got different roadblocks, right? I had a lot of roadblocks, mental roadblocks and challenges with my childhood, right? And I'm sure you all do, right? Like, it happens, but the business part of this stuff is not tough, okay? It's send out direct mail, answer the phone, make offers, okay? If you're not doing that or you're scared to do that, then you probably got a challenge and you may not even need to be in business. But thank you, Susan. Just, hey, I'm just practicing what I preach. I do appreciate it. All right, Susan, cool. She's super excited about integrating the keyword with direct mail. I'm telling you, it's pretty awesome. So far, the results we've seen are pretty phenomenal. So again, I want you to think about that, guys. It's pretty daggum cool because, so we've got Susan, we got Rob, we got Jason. So if all I did is went out and bought a list of your guys' names and ultimately your property address and your mailing address, and give you a unique keyword, text in this keyword, which is absolutely unique to that property, right? Now I know that you responded. So now I know Susan responded at 123 Main Street versus Jason. So Susan's up in the Chicago suburbs. She's in the Chicagoland area. Jason's in Oklahoma City, like I know which ones responded, and therefore I can communicate accordingly, right? Today's world, marketing world, we all expect personalization, right? Personalization, customization, and that's what you should deliver to your customers, okay? And we're just trying to give you guys ways to really manage that personalized experience for your customers, okay? And so a lot of times, you know, I know there was a recent post, a gentleman in the group was asking, you know, hey, should I cancel REI Black Book? And it's an honest question. And for those of you guys, go look at the post. You know, I was pretty clear in my answer and told him, hey, look, you don't have to have software. Software is not going to go do a deal for you, right? That's hustle and hard work. I know plenty of investors that just use, you know, good old fashioned pen and paper, right? You know, I joke all the time that sticky notes aren't a system, okay? But so you don't have to have software to do deals, but I'm telling you, to have a business, you really do need systems. So I encourage you guys, you know, pay attention on how to use the CRM. Why do you need a CRM? That's a customer relationship management. Why do you need to manage your contacts? Why is it important to have unlimited custom fields? Why is that important? To be able to automatically and dynamically segment your contacts. Why is it important to be able to dynamically communicate and personalize the communication, right? Why is it important? That's because that's what they expect, okay? All right, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. Rob likes the postcard idea as well. Rob, don't worry, man. He says, hey, I didn't mean to imply that you were not a pro. Hey, no, there's no offense taken, because once you actually come in and hang out with me, Rob, you're going to realize that I'm not a pro and that I'm just a redneck from small town Texas that just provided value. And lo and behold, it worked out, man. So I'm truly one of those guys that, hey, man, if I can do it, guarantee you can do it, okay? All right. Okay, does the direct mail thing use a mail merge to give every address a keyword, I guess? Jason, we're building some very exclusive technology so that whenever you import your list, all right, so we're manually doing some of these things right now and assigning unique keywords and stuff. So we're manually doing this. So this is an example of, this is a great thing of where you want to prove it before you automate it. So we wanted to prove that it worked, right? So before we went out and build some, you know, big automated piece and put it into the system, we wanted to prove that it works. And so far, the results that we're getting back are good. Okay, so it really is good. And so now it's kind of, we're to the point, it's like, all right, we proved it. Now we need to automate it. So what you're going to see, Jason, and the folks that are at the Direct Mail Accelerator in February are going to get first dibs to this, but we're building it so that whenever you import it, we're going to generate dynamic keywords for each property. So you won't have to go and figure out the keywords on this particular one to insert those. And now you're just going to mail merge that unique keyword to the postcard. So that's ultimately what we're going to be doing. And so we're gonna facilitate that. It's gonna be pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. All right, technology is very challenging for me, and I don't believe I'm as creative as you are, Damon. Natalia, I got to tell you, if you would have met me, you know, now I'm not gonna BS you and tell you I'm not a technology guy, but I was not a marketing guy. Okay, I'm gonna be very clear. I was not a marketing guy. I had to work hard at it, and what I found is that I love it, and I studied it, and I read up on it. And I was very passionate about it. And so now, yes, it does come a lot easier, but I did have to work at it. The technology piece, openly, yeah, it's always come pretty easy to me. That hasn't been a challenge. But you know what is a challenge is detailed analytical work. You know, I couldn't be an accountant to save my freaking life. All right, I couldn't. I'm not a very good sales guy, right? And when I say sales guy, some of you guys are like, oh yeah, really, dude, you sell us all the time on these daggum webinars. Look, I'm not really a good sales guy in the traditional sense of what sales is, okay? I don't like the process. You know, we sell well at REI Black Book, but I think that's just because we put the value out there and you guys see it and you take us up on it, right? But, you know, so my point is, Natalia, that there's a lot of things that I'm not good at in my business, right? I'm not a coder. I don't know how to write code. I understand what technology should do. I'm a terrible designer. You know, there's tons of things that I am not good at. All right, but that's why it's important to, you know, outsource and to bring on people to your team to fill those gaps, okay? And I'm not going to kid you, in the early days, whenever funds are tight and stuff like that, it's not easy. It's difficult. But hey, the cool thing of it is, and you know, we are here for you. We do plug into that group. I know I see you post all the time, so thank you for that, and continue to do that. You got questions? You know, I'll record a video. I'll throw that stuff up there. So don't let the technology piece, hinder you, okay? Because quite frankly, right now, it could be as simple as sending out a daggone postcard and keeping it really, really simple and just having the phone ring, right? That could be that simple, right? So don't get caught up in the tech piece. Don't let the tail wag the dog. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, and I think that's my, that's going to be my, what do they call it, mantra for 2019 is don't let the tail wag the dog. And what I mean by that is the technology and REI Black Book is the tail, right? The whole dog is your business, all right? So don't let REI Black Book come in here and like wave your business around and determine what your business is going to do and how you're going to operate and all that stuff. No, define your business and then go say, okay, REI Black Book can do that piece, that piece, that piece. What I think REI Black Book can actually do a lot of stuff, and you're probably not going to outgrow REI Black Book. I mean, we've got members that are doing hundreds of deals a year, right? And some of you guys are just saying, well, that's awesome. I'm just trying to do one deal, right? I get it. So the awesome part is you're not going to outgrow REI Black Book. And frankly, what I'm most passionate about right now is building a community, right? That can support each other. And we've only really been focused hardcore on that Facebook group for about 3 months, maybe 4 months. And I think you guys are starting to see the activity pick up and the participation. You guys are starting to share more. I mean, I get on there and try to answer questions, and I've got 3 people that have already answered, and they've answered them right. Or here's the awesome part. Maybe you get different opinions, and that's awesome too. All right, so just plug into the community. Natalia, I can't tell you that enough. And the other piece is don't let the negative self-talk control that, all right? So if you sit there and wake up every morning and say, oh man, I'm not very good at this technology, I'm going to totally be frustrated today and I'm not going to be able to do anything, then you know what's going to happen? You're going to be totally frustrated and you're not going to get anything done every day, okay? So wake up, right? Look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to kick technology's butt today. And I can't tell you enough. In fact, Susan, who's actually, and you guys can't talk to each other or see these questions. I wish you guys kind of could on these calls, but the challenge is just kind of tough. Susan is actually, she's on here because she was actually part of our fast track group. She was here in St. Louis last week. And you know what? I sat down with her. She was saying the same thing. She's like, hey, you know what? I'm totally limited on this technology, everything else. She's all these things. She woke up and said, hey, I'm not tech. Tech's not my thing. But she's a nurse, right? And it was like, you know what? She went back to college recently, got nursed, all that stuff. I'm like, how hard was that? Like, if I had to go in and start looking at prescriptions and medications and what I'm supposed to do and diagnose, I'd be lost. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be overwhelmed, okay? But the bottom line is she handled that. And I told her, like, hey, you got to change your mindset. And I'll tell you, she did. And she's actually literally saying, she said, hey, Damon can attest to my struggles, and I'm working with this system with minimal frustration and much success. Okay, and that's coming from somebody that 2 weeks ago was telling me that she was tech challenged and couldn't do this stuff. And she's sitting there saying, oh, wow, hey, look, guess what? I changed my mind. And I think it's Henry Ford, right? Whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. So Natalia, it really is what you're telling yourself. I know that sounds cliche, but I think they become cliche for a reason, right? Because people keep saying it over and over again, and they wouldn't do that if it doesn't work, right? It's like everybody always asks us, Damon, why do we get those daggum emails from, the Nigerian prince that has all that money? And all I got to do is send in money. Like, who possibly falls for that? Why do they keep doing it? I'm telling you, people fall for it. That's why they still send those emails, okay? So the bottom line is that's why they become cliches, because it works. That's why people keep saying it. And the mindset's important. All right, guys. Hey, I don't see any other questions. If you do have questions, go to the Facebook group, pop in the questions there. I'm going to get this. This is recorded tonight. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here super, super quick. Again, you got questions, go to the Facebook group. Happy to help. And if this was valuable, if you guys love this stuff, then go to the Facebook group and let everybody know that they should be on our calls and to be on the lookout. And we will be doing a webinar on Wednesday night, even more details on some of the direct mail stuff, okay? All right, with that said, guys, we will talk to you soon. Thank you guys so much.